Oh yeah, it's like 1, 2, 3rd. Everything I say I learn. Oh yeah, but that's for sure. That's my word.
Good Sunday evening, everybody. Welcome back to our collab channel, Watch Your Best Friends. It's me, your boy James, joined by my girl, Mrs. Best. Y'all say what's up to her.
Good evening. Welcome in. Thank you all for being here. Subscribe and please tell a friend. We want to get past 35 into 40 at least.
At least by the end to the next video, but 40, maybe even 50. That's a little ambitious. But share the video, y'all. We trying to get the channel monetized so we can come to y'all on a regular basis instead of just this once a week thing. We trying to get this going, y'all. But as you reach the little monologue graphic here that my BFF created that looks absolutely amazing. I have to give her credit. It looks great. I cannot do this, so I'm glad that she is able to. This segment is called Neighbor from Hell. Crazy, good and bad neighbor stories, y'all. We have plenty of them. So what we're going to do here is we're going to kind of, go into some crazy neighborhood talk stories. So I have a nice little coon graphic.
Your photo is crazy. It's actually crazy. The Medea photo. That's me in 40 years, y'all. The gun and a good wig, okay?
Child. So if you guys do not know Taryn Man, oh hey Kiwan, thank you for being here. We appreciate you. Thank you so much. Y'all do what she say and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel.
And I want to see your hair. That's all.
So y'all, we have the reason why I put Taryn Man is she played this role called Karen. And it's actually a movie called Karen where the girl from Sisters and Corey Hardrick played, her neighbors, and she gave them absolute hell as their neighbor. So I come to say this. I'm in the bushes until I finish this.
Not you in the bushes. That I just want to go to the bush and weep. Just allow me to go.
Yes.
I'm going to say that to the next person at work that gets on my nerves. When I be trying to help my clients and they don't want the help, I'm just going to go to the bush and weep. Not going to work too hard no more. I love it, Kiwan.
Yes. So, Mrs. Best, you and I both have some good and bad neighbor stories. We grew up in, Bay Area. You're still there. I left when I was 18. And what's ironically funny is that I, as an adult, do not have like a bad encounter with my neighbors, but I do have crazy shit that my neighbors do that I'm like, whoa. Okay. So come to find out. So I'm going to start. I think I've told the story here many times, but I have a neighbor who lives 2 floors down from me. She actually feeds the stray birds and cats. And so now I got a car that is covered in bird shit, literally, because this lady insists on feeding the birds and they wait for her to come out that apartment. They know what she looks like. They know where she is. They will start singing, trying to get her out that apartment. And sometimes they're successful. And as many times as we report her, it still happens. It'll stop for maybe a week or two, and then she'll pick right back up with it. So that's about as crazy as my story gets as far as a crazy neighbor encounter. So, Mrs. Best, why don't you tell us a good neighbor story encounter that you may have had?
You want a good one or a bad one?
Give us one for a friend. Give one that's juicy. Something that's going to have us hollering.
So my friend, shout out to Leona, because she wanted to be here but couldn't, and told me to tell her story. My old landlord, who I was very cool with, I referred her to him so that she could get a place, because that's how it is in the Bay Area. A friend done told you about someone that's cheap. She got her apartment. Is beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. She has a great view of the bay, but her neighbor, the way the apartments are, like the doors to the apartments, when you walk up, it's to the back of the building so that the front is just views. The neighbor's door is right next to hers. So I went to her house one day and there was an actual comforter and a pillow outside with a sleeping bag, and it looked like somebody had been sleeping there and collected kids. She told me that it was the neighbor's son, something about him knocking on her door at 3 a.m. because his mom be high off the fentanyl. I guess the lady's a crackhead. She be in there high, and he was locked out of the house. So my friend helped her, but the lady one day was tweaking really, really bad. My friend called me on FaceTime. The lady took a painting that my friend had previously given her because my friend does art, and she wrote all over the painting, "You will not make it. You are the enemy. Karma is coming. Jesus is going to kill you." All sorts of crazy stuff. She took pictures of the painting. I should have sent it to James because I have them on my phone right now. But she took pictures of the paintings and sent them to the landlord. But the neighbor left the paintings for her. She hung them on Leona's front door. I was like, wait, she hung paintings with like, and she just wrote all over her painting in Sharpie, like messy, crazy notes. And then she left her a little USB with like a video of her cursing her name. I thought that was very strange.
Mm-hmm.
And the landlord, his solution was to sell the building so it ain't his problem no more. He gone. I said, what? What kind of shit is this?
Right.
So yeah, that's someone else's crazy story. I have others, but I'll wait before I give mine because mine might implicate me. I gotta see.
So I have a actually this is a really interesting story. So I moved into another apartment in 2018. This was the year after I got my Camaro, and my neighbors who were next to, they had knocked on the door, and my mom answered the door because my mom and her boyfriend were helping me, and she was like, "Oh, we're your neighbors," and they were a young couple, or at least so I thought. So they were a young couple, very cute. You know, she worked at the Starbucks, so I related to her. I said, "I worked at Starbucks for years." Ended up going back the year after, but yeah, and he worked at In-N-Out Burger. So they had invited me out for his 21st birthday. And I said, "Oh, y'all are really, really young." Because mind you, I'm 28 at this time. So I'm like, damn, 20. I said, okay, we're still in our 20s, both of us. Until I learned that she was 33. And I said, "Oh, not you robbing the cradle?" And she got really offended by that. When I say really offended, after that night, she did not speak to me for maybe about 7 months. She did not speak to me. Yeah, she would see me in passing, would not speak. I would say, "Hi, how you doing?" She would walk right past me. Her husband would speak though. He would say, "Hey James, how you doing?" You know, everything that, but she would not speak to me. So I just so happened to see her at the grocery store. And she goes, "Can I talk to you?" And I said, "Sure." And she was like, I was really offended that you said that I was robbing the cradle. You pretty much tried to call me like a predator or something to that extent. And I don't think that that's funny. Yes, my husband is younger than me, but I don't appreciate you looking at me like I'm some sort of pedophile. And I was like, first off, it was a joke. And second off, how we get to me saying you robbing the cradle to you turning it into some legal action? That is strange because it was a joke. Obviously, he's of age and he was of age when you married him, I'm assuming, right? Because he has to be 18 in order for you to marry him. Well, she goes, "Well, I've been with him since he was 16, but that's beside the point." I said,
Oh no.
I said, "Okay, so you just implicated yourself in this grocery store in front of all these people saying that you were with your husband before he was of the legal age to marry you." He goes, "I'm just going to stop talking." And I said, "Okay, you have a nice day." And then it turned into 2 weeks after that, I get a letter on my door from her saying that she is really offended by me saying all these things. And I'm confused, like, what did I say? Because I didn't say anything. I made a little joke. Didn't think much of it. You incriminated yourself. So after that, I just stopped fooling with them. They ended up leaving because they ended up getting a divorce a few months after that. Like she ended up filing for divorce for a few months after that. But I just remember it turned into one of those situations where, as I said, it wasn't really good. It wasn't really a bad neighbor story, but it wasn't a good one either. It was kind of like a, I didn't do anything wrong, but she was blaming me for things I didn't even say, just word mouth and put words in my mouth and stuff. But it was a crazy story.
I think Delight Don's comment covers the reasons why people be knowing when they wrong. People be knowing they wrong. They just don't want to. They just don't want to be confronted. And that's the thing with crazy neighbors. I feel like 9 times out of 10, they be knowing that they wrong, but they still proceed with the BS. Well,
that's what people in Phoenix do out here. That's another thing that they do. That's why I brought up this story, because I live in a state where people always do. It's called a straw man argument, where people always try to make it more than what it is off of one little statement. Like I could say that orange is my favorite fruit, and someone will go, well, what's wrong with apples and pears? Nothing's wrong with them. Orange is my favorite fruit. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but oranges, lack this, and apples actually have that. So they do that out here. And it will frustrate you to this thing. So that's what my neighbor did. It was like a complete straw man argument. And what's funny is her husband, one time after that letter, had told me that she does this quite often, where she will always imply more than what you actually say. Because I used to hear them argue all the time, and I used to have my ear to the to the wall because the walls were thin. But yeah, that's what we would do. So yeah, that's probably the only neighbor story that I have that was just kind of like, damn. I usually don't fool with my neighbors too much unless they come off cool. But other than that, I'm kind of like,
child, Phoenix can't be that bad if you ain't got too many neighbor stories. I thought bad neighbor stories would come from living in the neighborhood. When I was living in the neighborhood, I really don't have too many bad neighbor stories. And I grew up in one of the worst neighborhoods in the Bay Area. But when it gets to like getting to the nicer areas and the gentrified areas, even with apartments, I feel like I've had more trouble in apartments than I did when I leave. Like everywhere we've gone, and we have moved quite a bit, everywhere that we have gone, I feel like I've had a neighbor that's a problem, a neighbor I done almost fought. There's a neighbor I had in Vallejo, the itty bitty city by the water in the Bay. But I love Vallejo, but there was a neighbor I had, they used to block our parking spot in an alleyway. Vallejo has a lot of alleyways, which James is probably aware of. But yep. The lady her dude used to like block us in and all of this stuff. So people used to have to be knocking on their door trying to wake them up because you're parked in the middle of the street. The garbage man couldn't get by. It was a thing. The city was starting to tow their cars. But one time I don't know if it was his mom or some lady in a wheelchair, a little old white lady, but she started going off on my husband because she had a wheelchair just in the middle of everything, even though there was a sidewalk and he's trying to drive. And I guess the cars get too close to her. She got mad and called herself snapping at the car and him. I said, don't do that. She started talking to me all sorts of crazy. And I really tried to hold it, James. I swear on my life. I tried to hold it. She said something and I snapped on her, got out the car, said, if you ever fucking talk to us again like that, white bitch, I'm going to push your ass down this hill. I told her. She said, what? I shoot you. What? I said, bitch, you won't be able to. You'll be halfway down the hill. And you know them steep hills in Vallejo. The Bay Area, we got the steepest hills. And it's not just San Francisco, y'all. But she was in that wheelchair talking shit. She snapped at my husband and he's looking like I can't do nothing. I'm a man. So he's just looking. I see him getting frustrated. Y'all always blocking our car in. And then she started talking all this mess, just yapping. The bitch had all of 4 teeth. I will roll your ass down this hill if you don't get away from me. I said, Lord, God help me. And that's just one of many crazy neighbors I had in Vallejo. Like Vallejo and Stockton, when I lived there, I've never had neighbors so ratchet. But let me get the comments.
Yes, please.
Lord help us. All my neighbors annoy me. Not all of them. How many you got? I put on my headphones and pretend like I can't hear them. Meanwhile, there ain't nothing playing. I just don't want to talk to them. What's your sign? I feel like a lot of people do that as we get older. If you don't want to talk to people, headphones should be a sure sign, like not to. My husband's biggest pet peeve is when people try to talk to him and his headphones are in. It's like,
yeah, I'm in the grocery store all the time with my headphones in because I used to pretend I was deaf. So so people would not talk to me. So now I put headphones in. That's before they actually created the little ear pods and shit.
Lord help us. You're a Leo. My
You're a
mom is a
Leo.
Leo, and she used to do that growing up.
Yeah, y'all
It
don't like to
never
be
works
bothered.
with me. People will still bother me with headphones, especially on BART.
Mm-hmm.
Why are you bothering me?
You just reminded me of a crazy story that I'm gonna tell real quick. So there was a cat who decided to have her litter on the roof above my apartment. So
The roof? How the hell to get up there?
I don't know. It was just so as the kittens got older, because they're starting, kittens, after they start getting curious of where their mom's going, because the mama is going to get food to bring back to her litter, right? So one day I just happened to be home. And I remember seeing this lady throw like a sausage on my balcony. And I said, what the hell is that? So the cat comes and grabs it and goes up there. And I said, I know you're not throwing food on my balcony. So I waited. I kind of made it apparent to be in my living room all day so I could see if the person did it again. So sure enough, after a few hours, she did it again. So I went outside, scared the cat. The cat ran back up there, and I threw that sausage back down. She goes, "Excuse me, don't do that." I said, "No, excuse me, don't throw no food up here." Oh, she goes, "I'm just trying to feed the cat because it has babies, and you should really call somebody and do that." And by that time, I had already called because, as I said, everybody is throwing food and things on my balcony. And I said, can y'all get these stray cats so people can stop throwing food? So they sent out an email saying, please do not throw food on people's balconies or leave any type of trash or anything on the balcony. So this lady knocks on my door and she goes, that is very inhumane of you to sit up there and let those cats suffer up there like that. And I said, ma'am, they're not suffering. That mama come down every day getting food for her litter, and she waiting for them to get big enough so they can get their asses down there. I don't want y'all throwing food on my balcony. If you can't yell, come here, kitty, 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 and it don't come down there, then that means it's not meant for you to feed it.
Cats are the most biologically perfect species on the planet. Let me tell you something about cats. They are hunters. No shade to dog owners and dog lovers. They need y'all to survive. Cats don't need us for shit. And that's what makes having them as a pet so rewarding. Because they don't need us for nothing. A cat will hunt a mice, a fly. If a fly gets in my apartment for me leaving the window open, my cat is on it. He old now. It might take him a while, but if the thing buzzes around him too much, he's on that fly's ass and he will catch it. I'm trying to tell you, a cat is going to be okay. They gonna figure it out.
Right.
And sausage is not what's going to help them. You actually inflating their little bellies. Don't give them sausage.
Child.
Not give them sausage.
Child,
she said it's the circle of life, right?
I'm trying to tell you,
world. You'll be all right.
Girl, when I tell you, I have had hamburgers thrown on my balcony. I've had open cans of tuna thrown on my balcony.
No. I would have been throwing shit back at people. I would have been going and buying stuff, getting me a super soaker, filling it with ketchup, and spraying everybody down. You're not going to be
keep in mind
on my balcony.
Well, here's the thing. I told you it was only that one day that because I would come to my balcony and have all kind of food wrappers and everything on my balcony. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? And
at least take it out of the wrapper. That's crazy.
Well, how they gonna throw it up there on the second floor if they have
well, like you said here, kitty kitty, if a cat smell food, it's gonna come up to it.
Right. That's what I'm saying,
You
girl.
didn't
What I
have to
tell
throw
you,
it on the balcony. They act like the mom couldn't come down and get it. Neighbors be crazy.
they
Neighbors
do.
be genuinely crazy. Like the stuff that people do is baffling. It's actually baffling.
Yeah, it is. It's good. That was probably one of the craziest things I ever went through because it was like constant. Like when I tell you, it took that cat's litter maybe 2 months to get down from the roof. So within that 2 months, people were throwing food on my balcony. And I would just happen to be home that one day because I think I had like a doctor's appointment or something. And yeah, I caught somebody. I was like, because it was weird too. I was like, why is there food? And I'm thinking maybe some kids climbing on the roof and something, just leaving their trash.
It's too
Because
damn
that's
hot in Arizona for you to be throwing food up on my balcony. I've had crazy though. My craziest neighbor story I will say for the end though, because it's like that's why I stay in the house.
No worries. So this is what I meant to put for our crazy neighbor story. Yeah.
Giving James baby daddy problems.
I'm trying to tell you. Yes. So we're going to play a game. It's going to be called Next Door, Down the Street, or Around the Corner. And with this game, it's almost like our Marry, Fuck, Kill. This is what it is. So we're going to have a sequence of people, and Mrs. Best and I, and of course you guys here in the chat, in the live chat, and also the replay game. Shout out to y'all as well. You guys are going to tell me which person you want to live next door to. You want them to either live down the street or around the corner. So I have a few slides of people. So Mrs. Best, we're going to go ahead and start. So Housewives edition. Let me know out of these 3 housewives who you want to live next door to, who you want to live down the street from, and who you want to live around the corner.
I live next door to Phaedra. Phaedra don't be having too much going on in her house. Phaedra understands what my granny used to say. Your home is your sanctuary. You don't need to have the party up in there all the time, and people don't need to always be there. So I would live next door to Phaedra. Also, Phaedra's kids is older. I feel like she goes to her men or travels for the dick. So I ain't gonna hear no weird, crazy parties or nothing going down over there. And I feel like Phaedra's the neighbor where if I have a problem, she'll be dropping them legal gems off to me for free, and her kids is well behaved. So I would live next door to Phaedra. I would want to live down the street from Kelly. She's got kids and debt and a lot going on, so she's not the hot girl that she tries to make herself seem. I feel like she's at home making chicken and waffles more often than not. So I don't mind living down the street from Kelly. She's also too busy to bother me. Portia, I don't want to live anywhere near her. I don't know what the hell will be going on. I feel like there's plastic surgery parties. I feel like there's pleasure parties. I feel like there's all sorts of crazy stuff going on, and probably a free WhatsApp to connect with African men across the world. I don't need to be anywhere near that.
All right, good job, good job. So, yes,
she don't need to be next door.
No. See, I also agree with you. Phaedra could live next door to me for the same reasons. Phaedra look like she don't bother nobody. She look like she will send the kids next door to cut the grass and break the leaves and stuff. She look like she really like that kind of person. So I would live next door to Phaedra. As far as Kelly, she got to live around the corner. I feel like down the street is too close to hear that damn mouth. I cannot do it. I'm sorry. She's another one that reminds me of Lil Brandy. I just cannot take that widescreen ass mouth. I just cannot do it. Now, Portia could live down the street because she ain't getting out of Simon's house no time soon. And so she'd be having pretty little Christmas decorations up. And sometimes I like to see that. So, yeah, Portia could live down the street. But yeah, Kelly got to live around the corner. I'm sorry. I can't do it. And then Phaedra, yeah, I can live next door to Phaedra. Them kids, as I said, well behaved. And as
getting older, they leaving soon.
Yeah, exactly. So that's cool. So good job on the game concept. So let's move on to the next set of people. So the next set of people, we have Giselle Bryant, Dr. Wendy Osefo, and Miss Karen Huger. So this is best. I have to ask y'all as well as y'all.
I live in California. It would never happen. I don't want to live near none of these hoes because I got to deal with Karen's drunk ass shenanigans and probably more calls from the neighborhood police, the neighborhood security, the HOA is going to call me, and I'm going to have to be dealing with whoever else is coming through to support her through her times of need and support her through her sobriety. So I ain't got time for that. Plus, Karen brings Cookie to the neighborhood. I don't want to live anywhere the fuck near Karen. Okay, can you imagine catching Karen going to grab the paper from outside with a coffee before that wig is fully on her head? Hell no. And can you imagine watching Ray take 17 minutes to get from the front door to the car? No, I couldn't live near Karen, and she got too many secrets. I don't want to live nowhere near Giselle because Giselle is nosy.
So Dimples on Demand's comment is taking me out right now.
No, Giselle is going to be with binoculars in her curtains that she could see out, but we can't see in, watching everything she can through the peephole of my house. And then she going to be calling Radar Online, TMG, Giorgio says, Giselle's going to tell all my business. You don't want to live near no preacher's wife. Okay, she gonna be all up in your business and then offer to pray for salvation. I don't want to deal with that. And Wendy and Eddie, though I know they innocent until proven guilty, I don't know if I want to live near them either. Because Wendy's mom she come over and is loud. Africans are loud, y'all. I'm African, I know. We are a loud people. So I feel like Wendy's family, we always hear all sorts of loud shit going on in the house. Her mama, and then separate from that, you can't trust them. You can't trust them. They could send somebody after my house and they act like they cool and suggest that I call ADT or somebody. Like I'm a pass on all of them.
You can't pass. No, there is no passing.
None of these hoes. Karen is a danger to the neighborhood. You got to be careful crossing the street. Right. I could be going to get the mail and Karen could take me out. Lit coming back. But if she hit me like she hit that tree, it's curtains.
So for me, since Mrs. Best needs some more time, I'm just gonna have to take the risk on Giselle being my nosy ass neighbor. I'm just gonna have to take that risk. I'm sorry, even though she got the 900.
You just got to put cameras facing her shit so she knows you're watching her, and she'll leave you alone.
I would just have to give her recommendations on how to make that 900K tear down her, Giselle's funeral home, make it look better, because I can't do. Yes, she gonna bring the property value down, but knowing me, I'll stay in the house for 30 years and keep my mortgage payment the same. Karen got to live around the corner. I'm sorry, like Mrs. Best said, Karen drive home drunk one night. Even
around the corner is too close. I need Karen in a different county.
Listen, at least there'll be houses in between. She can't drive that Maserati up and through everything. She's gonna drive into the pool.
How come nobody's looked up if she has a license? Does she have a license today?
She would have. Oh no, she can't drive. I'm sure she can't drive right now.
She better not be allowed to drive.
I'm sure she can't drive right now. I'm sure if she does, she probably got one of them blow monitors in her car. I don't know if they do that in Maryland like they do here in Phoenix. Phoenix, they'll let you drive, but you gotta have one of them blow monitors in your car. Yeah, they'll let you drive. Yeah,
make the noise.
I didn't know what the hell that was when my friend talking about she'll drive, and I'm getting in the car and I'm looking at her. She talking about some. Don't make me laugh, James. Oh, I'm like, the fuck is that? And me, my ignorant ass don't know nothing about, because I don't drink. So I'm like, I don't know nothing about that shit. She'll tell me, this starts my car. Mm-hmm. I said, well, what the fuck is it? Why does it start the car? She goes, I have a DUI. So in order for me to drive, I have to blow into this, and I'm like, oh my God. Do not drink and drive, people. It is not worth it. Do not drink and drive. An Uber is $10. I guarantee you. Just saying. And Wendy could live down the street. Like you said, that Wendy could live down the street. I don't mind that. But yeah, that's how it's gonna go. So Mrs. Best, it's your turn. You're not getting out of this one.
I meant what I said. I can't live near Karen. I refuse to live in the same county as Karen. That's a liability to my life. People love me. I got to stay alive.
Okay, so Karen can live around the corner from you. So who living next door, Wendy or Giselle?
I'm gonna do Wendy. I'm from the hood. I could deal with it.
Okay, Giselle lived right
All
down
I
the
gotta
street.
do is make some okra soup, bring over some fufu, and they'll probably leave me out of it. And
All right.
as for Giselle, I don't want to live next door to her. I'd rather live next door to Wendy. I don't.
Okay, so Giselle
Giselle,
lived down the street.
no, are you kidding? A preacher's wife? Absolutely not. I can't live nowhere near the preacher's wife. Hell, I'll take Karen.
Well, Karen lives around the corner, so you want Karen to live down the street then?
We'll put Karen down the street and Giselle around the corner. Because one
Gotcha.
thing about Karen, she got too much to lose. She got too much heat on her right now. So I know I'm safe for at least a year. I can move.
All right. Next group of ladies.
You chose their worst photos. Shadows. This is the example of it don't matter if you take shortcuts through Ozempic. It don't matter if you have plastic surgery. It don't matter what you do. If you an ugly duckling, you a motherfucking ugly duckling. And in that order. Because what
Mary's comment just pops in my head when I saw this picture, so I just had to pull it up. I just had to do it. Oh my goodness. So we have Miss Heather Gay, Miss Lisa Barlow, and Miss Meredith Marks. So who is living next door, who is living down the street, and who is living around the corner? From you, Mrs.
I live next door to Meredith. It's a rental. She probably ain't gonna be home much anyway. That's the easy choice. That's the best neighbor you could have, one that's never around. Okay. And when she is there, it's only for a second, and all she's gonna do is soak in a bathtub or put somebody out of her house. Either way, I'm entertained. She's not gonna bother me though. These next two, I don't know. We could put Lisa down the street.
Mm-hmm.
I want Heather as far away from me as possible. Heather seems like the Karen that is measuring your grass to see if it's a 4th inch taller than it should be and is calling the HOA. Heather is the person running the license plate of whoever comes to your house. Heather is the person spreading rumors throughout the neighborhood. I don't want to live near Heather. But Lisa, I feel like Lisa's just trying to make sure her husband likes her and make sure that she looks rich. So I feel like she don't really come outside too much and would leave me alone. But yeah, Heather is furthest away from me. Absolutely. Okay. And who the fuck see that coming outside to get your mail or drinking your morning coffee on the porch and you got to look at Thanos inbred looking ass across the street, moving old mattresses and sweat and ski gear.
See, the same thoughts you have about Heather, I have about Lisa. So I'm gonna move Lisa around the corner because I can't live because Lisa looks like the type that will measure your grass and make sure she run the license plate, especially if she see a lot of color folk. That's what Lisa gives me. Lisa gives me that kind of info. Yeah, she does. So I need her around the corner. Like you said with Meredith, only stay in the neighborhood 3 months out of the year. So I can stomach her for 3 months out of the year. So she can live next door. And Heather could live down the street because I feel like Heather's so damn nosy. She'll see the robber coming and call everybody. And by the time the robber make it to the house it's going to, the police are already there. So we need people like Heather. I'm sorry, we do. So yeah, Heather can live down the street. Meredith can live next door.
Heather gonna be fighting crime in the neighborhood. I cannot.
She is. I can see it. I can see it. Heather's like, I've never seen this car in this neighborhood before. She texting everybody on the group thread, talking about, hey, does anybody recognize this car? Here's its license plate.
There's a car parked in front of 404 Marina Way. Does anyone recognize it? Or is anyone expecting guests? It's like, bitch. Oh, Lord. They do shit like that in the Bay Area. They do stuff like that in the Bay Area. I can't.
Oh, that was fun. That was fun. All right. So we have the next group of ladies.
She lives a totally different life from us. She's too busy being the queen Sundance. She won't have time. Exactly. She'll leave you alone. Yeah. I don't think Lisa will be outside. I think she'll be too busy. Oh, this wig. Bose, you need to be asking Keely. I'm sorry. I know we're not talking about reality TV, but that's what we do. And I got something to say. She need to be asking Keely. Instead of, are you going to stay with me if I can't give you a baby? Are you going to stay with me if I go back to this wig? That's the question. This is atrocious.
So, Mrs. Best, who is living next door, who is living down the street, and who is living around the corner?
We gonna put Erica down the street, around the corner, 2 blocks down, and at the end of the cul-de-sac. That's where we go. That's where Erica's gonna go. I'm gonna put Sutton down the street. Am I gonna actually? I don't know. I'm kind of torn between putting Sutton and Bose down the street. I feel like I would make Sutton my neighbor. No, I put Bose as my neighbor, and I would put Sutton down the street. I'm torn, but I feel like Sutton would complain if I had like a very black event or something. I don't know why, but I feel like she would complain about that. I feel like Bose, I feel like she travels a lot. I know she has multiple properties, and she's focused on that man. I don't feel like she's too much of a problem, and her career does tell me she probably makes good decisions. So I keep Bose next door. But yeah, Sutton, I feel like Sutton would go full-blown Karen on me. I also feel like Sutton is secretly still keeping that vodka very close. And I feel like that could be a problem in terms of neighborly conduct. Not hard wig, soft life. That is Bose. Yeah.
So yes, I am. So for me, I am moving Bose and her 75-pound wig next door to me because I feel like, you know what? Hey, out of these three, she's the only one that I have some sense of trust with. I'm gonna move Sutton down the street, and I'm gonna move Erica around the corner. Because something about Erica, I can't keep next close to me because I feel like I can't do it. So yes, because Erica look like the neighbor you would cuss out. She just do. She look like that neighbor you would cuss out. Yeah,
and she look like she'll get smart with you if she does something wrong and you have to talk to her about it. Or if something happens like fences and things in California, that's actually a big point of contention. People be pulling guns on each other and shit over fences in California when it comes time to fix it. Erica give me somebody shady. I don't know why. I feel like she's bringing crime to the neighborhood. I feel like she's bringing like just all types of shadiness to the neighborhood. Remember, her son told us it snowed in Pasadena.
Oh Lord! So let's go ahead and move on to the next set of ladies. So we have Larsa, Julia, and Gertie. Who are we moving next door, down the street, and around the corner? I don't know, but it's very interesting. I was studying it for a minute and then ended up just making it to the PowerPoint. So
I was studying it.
I was, because I was trying to figure out like what
she's got to stop. It's aging her worse. It's actually making her look older.
I didn't know if this was her
like
on
the lady who played Hilary Duff's stepmom in A Cinderella Story.
Oh, and I love her too.
I do. I can't remember her name. But
Jennifer Coolidge.
Yeah, but she naturally has that face.
Yep.
Larsa doesn't. Gertie could live next door to me. I feel like Gertie would be a fun neighbor. I feel like her and her husband are lovable, not problematic. Haitians are also friendly and like to share food. So Gertie could be my neighbor. She could be my neighbor. She seems sweet. By the by, y'all, Miami is being delayed. They have not started filming yet, which they should have been done. But so something's going on with that again. But I need Julia away from me. Julia's a dangerous neighbor. Have y'all seen that documentary on Netflix called The Perfect Neighbor? Hi, Shayna. Thank you for passing through. Julia gives me the lady from a Perfect Neighbor, that documentary on Netflix where she shot that lady through the door. I don't trust Julia. I just don't. She has to go as far as she can away from my home. Larsa, she can live down the street. It's fine. Larsa is so busy chasing dick that I don't think that she would bother me too much as a neighbor. I just can't see it happening. I think she's too wrapped up in herself to really even entertain her neighbors. I feel like she would just ignore us all.
Yeah, Or if you having a function, Larsa gonna want to invite. That's what she
Yeah,
gives me,
that's about
and
it.
I can't have that. Even though I have some cousins that wouldn't say no to her at all. So we're gonna move Larsa around the corner from me because I can't do that. I'm sorry. I don't want her all up in there thinking she can just knock on my door anytime she will and please, just because some of y'all over there. It ain't gonna happen like that. So Larsa's gonna move around the corner. Julia can live down the street, and like you said with Gertie, I have firsthand experience of Haitian people and sharing food. When I tell you the potlucks at my old job, because majority of them were Haitian, baby, let me tell you, they made sure I ate. She said, "Baby, I got your plate here. You make sure you eat." That's what they tell me all the time. So yes, Gertie can live next door for sure because I know that's what it would be like. Oh, all right. So now that we got through the housewives, we gonna take a drive down to the ratchetness of our.
God, you better not have Flo and Gael in here. I'm gonna whoop your ass if you do.
Trust me, it was a thought. It really was, but I'm not trying
Better
to.
not. I can't do that.
No, I wouldn't do. No, I try to keep it as like mutual and middle ground as possible. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first
middle ground starts with the loudest heifers and the biggest liars. All of the franchises.
So who are we living next door to? Who are we keeping down the street? And who is going around the corner?
I'm gonna live next door. I'm gonna live next door to Eliza.
Okay.
I know that might be surprising. She's a hoe, but she's not a loud one. And separate from that, from what we know about her being passed around on that plane with Tory Lanez and them in Future, she likes to travel to the dick instead of bringing the problems to her house. So I feel like Eliza would be okay to live by. She's also Haitian, so I feel like she would feed me, and I feel like she knows how to code switch around the colorless. Never doubt a stripper, y'all. They can get along with anybody. She's talked to all different sorts of people with different backgrounds and things of that nature. So she could definitely live next door to me. Shay has to stay as far away from me as possible because I don't want to hear her mouth. But I feel like Shay is not what she is on the show. Like, yes, she's loud, but I feel like when she's not on the show, she probably just be in her house kind of quietly. Yeah. Or around family. So I would put Shay down the street. Amara has to actually stay as far as she fucking can away from me. And here is why. Amara lets anybody come to her house. We done seen Ray J come to her house. Mommy Anna's got a key to her house. Alan got a key to her house. She got them 2 twins. Then she's always filming in her house. Too many people know where she lived. To me, I don't know if I have paranoia from how I grew up, but too many people knowing how you live, that's a safety concern, in my opinion. And somebody that's willing to let whoever they meet come over their house, whoever they friends with this season, whoever they know could come to their house, absolutely not. I feel like Amara, her house would make the block hot, if that makes sense. I feel like there would always be a fight or a nigga coming out of there, a babysitter or a nanny, or Mommy Anna doing God knows what, so I wouldn't want to live near her. Not all of them can stay in the dumpster.
Kiwan, no, you got to play the game, Kiwan. Who are you living next door to? Who are you living down the street by? And who gonna live around the corner?
No. I'm gonna stand up for my good sis, Kiwan JTV, y'all. We both cover Love and Hip Hop, and that shit is hard. Okay? When I say that shit is hard, that shit is hard. I'd rather assess the insane at the psych ward. Swear to God, I would. So I don't blame her, especially how these heifers acted this last season.
See, my first mind was to live next door to Shay. But then after what you just said about Eliza, that actually makes more sense. So I'm going to put Eliza next door because that makes a lot of sense. I didn't even think about that. I'm going to put Amada down the street and then Shay can live around the corner. Because once again, I can't be around people who just loud for no reason. So we're going to have to just, Yeah, so that made sense. I was just like.
And then you know what else with Shay? She going to have her mama, her brothers, everybody coming over trying to make breakthroughs and shit. It's probably
as long
never
as that
gonna be
fine,
marketed
as
in the
long as that
street.
fine doctor one come over, I don't mind that one.
I can't with
Because
these
she do
guys.
got a fine ass, bro. I'm sorry, that not MJ, the other one. He fine as hell. So yeah, she can bring him. I'll drive around the corner and say hi and wave. Yeah,
There's
absolutely.
actually a man I really want to hook you up with who lives in Maryland, but I don't know if he's gay. I'm actually going to talk to you about that after this live. I just have to
You
say it
don't
so I
know
don't
if he's.
forget it. I don't
That's
know.
a whole nother live for a whole nother day.
I know.
Why you gonna bring it this live? Like we trying to
No,
talk about dating.
I'm saying I'm gonna talk to you about it off live, but I didn't want to forget.
I'm
But
gonna
if I say
forget.
it,
I'm
no, you won't.
hosting.
You won't forget.
I am hosting right now. Yes, I am going to forget.
No.
But anyways, y'all, we're gonna move along to the next set of people. So we have the couples edition.
No.
So Mrs. Best.
No. No.
So,
No.
are we living next door to Kirk and Rashida? Zayn, Ashley, or hold on, let me rewind. Are we living next door, around the corner, or down the street? We have Kirk, Rashida, Kendra and Jock, Ashley and Zayn. Who is living next door? Who is living down the street? And who is living around the corner?
I'm like Nas and Belly. I'm moving to Africa. None of them are my neighbors.
That is not how this game works. Mrs. Best, you got to choose. See, for me, I feel like I feel like Kirk and Rashida could live next door just because. No, hell no, they got too much going on right now today's time, so I can't. Jock and Kendra, no, hell no, because I don't want to hear Jocelyn's name all the damn time.
Jocelle,
right? And I could just see her. I could just see her running out the house, no wig on, yelling at him while he's trying to back the car out of the driveway. No,
Kendra, she need her makeup, so I wouldn't want to be looking.
And then Zayn and Ashley is too problematic for me in the first place. I'm actually gonna move Zayn and Ashley around the corner, just because I feel like I can't. Out of all these three, they give me just way too much messiness, way too much lie. I need them around the corner. I'm gonna move Kirk and Rashida down the street, and I'm just gonna take my chances with Kendra and Jock. As unfortunate as that's going to be, I'm just gonna have to do that because no matter who I move next door, it's going to be a problem one way or the other. So I feel like Jock and Kendra, when they're not filming the show, they probably are very quiet. So I'm going to bank on that. Kirk and Rashida got problems up and down the whole U.S. coast, and I don't know. I can't live next door to them. They can live down the street. So that's how I'm gonna do it. How you gonna do it?
This is one I can't get with. I wouldn't want any of them as my neighbor. Jock and Kendra fight too often. They just fight too often. I feel like when he's not home, she got hella people in the house. When she's not there, he got hella people in the house. His baby mamas, its kids, its aunties. No, I don't want to live near them. Zayn and Ashley give me the couple that bought their first house in the Diamond District or bought their first house on 104th and Bancroft. That's what they give me. I don't want to live near them. I feel like it's always some BS with them. Rashida and Kirk, based on how their kids move and how they move, I feel like there's all sorts of shit going on. I feel like they loud as hell off TV. I just do. I feel like they argue, but got their arrangement. I feel like they just come together for the show now. I wouldn't want to live. I can't make a choice. I can't live near none of these people. And yeah, they all got too many kids, and and some of their kids got kids. Hell no! I say live. I'm gonna be with Lisa from 90 Day Fiance in the forest in Georgia in a tent before I live next to these people. Okay, at least Lisa will put a hot dog over the fire with some mayonnaise and some bread for me. Absolutely not. Nope. I can't do it.
Okay, well, I'm gonna pick for her because you know what? I'm tired of this, y'all. The point of the game is you got to choose. If I were to make this all sensible people, it would be easy. That would be a better game. No, you got to
have some bad couples, but these niggas.
She said it don't get no worse than this.
This is like the bottom of the barrel, and not just Love It Hip Hop style, like across the table. I would rate these people with Ken and Trisha and the Love and Marriage Huntsville's couple. Like, these are a fucking joke. These people. It's a miracle they still married. And Kirk and Rashida, now we know their kids playing with guns and shit. You just never know.
Okay, so for that instance, for Mrs. Best, I'm gonna make the executive decision to move Kirk and Rashida around the corner. Jock and Kendra are going to live down the street, and then Zane and Ashley will live right next door.
If Kirk and Rashida is around the corner, their backyard can't face my backyard. You know what I'm saying? They got to be like really around the corner. Like,
not her setting up parameters for way around the corner.
How far can a bullet travel? How far? Because remember when Rashida, if Kirk cheat on her again, who's to say Rashida's mom won't come over and start a forest fire? I live in California. Wildfires start all the time. Y'all remember Miss Charlene rolling over that bike when Kirk cheated? Move, Rashida. Rashida pregnant and all. She ran over that bike. That thing caught fire. Absolutely not. Kirk and Rashida will burn the neighborhood down. Their kids play with guns. They got all sorts of drama. They got a rogue baby mama stripper situation in Jasmine. They got too much going on.
Okay, so we'll move them around the corner where the corner extends and then it goes into a cul-de-sac. There you go. There you go. Okay.
Space.
Yes, gotcha. All right. So the next set of people.
Oh, God.
We have Spice, Carly, and Yandy. Who we living next door to, who moving down the street, and who moving around the corner.
I'm gonna put Spice next door. She travels a lot. She travels a lot. She's a big artist outside of the show, so she's not a bother. No shade, Spice. She don't raise her kids. They in Jamaica, so she don't have her kids around like that. Now they older, but she travels a lot, and she's bi-coastal, quite literally. So I'd have Spice as a neighbor. I don't feel like she bothered anybody. And the way that she freaked out about Carly moving near her, that lets me know she values her peace and her privacy. I want neighbors that value their peace and their privacy. So I put Spice next door. I would put Yandy just right down the street, not too far. Yandy also travels a lot, but Yandy has visitors such as Judy. So down the street is good. Now, down the street and around the corner, Carly Red. She's never going to learn. I don't want a neighbor that's going to have 7 different husbands in 5-year span somehow, and they all got felonies. No, I don't want to live nowhere near Carly Red. I'm sorry. So that was easier. Yeah, I could do it.
Yeah. See, I had the same idea as you. Spice is always traveling on tour, so I feel like she would be perfect next door. And Yandy, same thing. Yandy be going to Ghana every 3 months with Angel and Quad. I just saw her in Ghana or in Africa the other day on Instagram. Her Angel was over there dancing. So yeah, we gonna put Yandy down the street, and then yes, Carly got to look because Carly get married to too many criminals for me. I'm sorry, I can't do all that now.
Half of them is in prison. Half of her exes.
Yeah, literally. I can't do all that. I can't do all that. I'm sorry.
And then the ones that ain't, he got kicked off a 1501 label. I said, damn, how you get kicked off a shady label and you wasn't even the artist? Like,
right. All right. See, this is getting easier. So now we have Erica Banks, Sierra Gates, and the band. Who we living next door to, who gonna live down the street, and who gonna be around the corner.
I live next door to Bambi. She has small kids, and I feel like she values their safety in that space. So I would live next door to Bambi. She's responsible without Scrappy. I put Sierra as far as possible, and Erica Banks could be down the street. I can't deal with Sierra. I think Sierra be on that white girl, aka Scarface. Her husband reminds me of the niggas that be outside of Food King on 9-0 and International. And I don't want to live anywhere near her or how she moved. Sierra seemed like she got a lot going on. She's what I call a chaotic Gemini. She's a very chaotic Gemini. I don't want to deal with that. Erica Banks could live down the street just because she travels a lot too, but I wouldn't want her too close since she's playing with guns and stuff also. But I think she was just holding it for somebody, and I feel like it's just a phase what she's going through. So she could live down the street. Maybe she can move a little closer with time. But yeah, Sierra got to go the fuck away from me.
Good. Okay. See, you're getting better at this. See, me, I'm gonna live next door to Erica Banks because I have been in her presence before. So, and she was very much standoffish, quiet, didn't say anything, just looked around the club and just looked at all of us and was like, "Oh, okay." So she gets me that she mind her own business. She don't say nothing when she walk out the car. She'll look your general direction and then get in it and go. So I like neighbors like that. I really do. So she can live
Me
next door to
alone.
me.
James
Yeah,
said, don't bother me.
yeah, I like neighbors like that because I can match your energy. So yes, we can 100% live next door to Erica Banks. Sierra got to move around the corner from me because, like you said, she too unpredictable for me. I can't do it. Not this lifetime, not the next. And Bambi can live down the street. I don't have no problem with Bambi. I don't. So that was a good one, very good one. Yes. So now we move on to the horror stories of the neighbors. So Mrs. Best was saving a great story, and this is now her segment.
What?
Yes, you said you were going to save a story until the end. You don't remember saying that?
Oh, I did. My bad neighbor story. My bad neighbor story is actually good. We're doing it at night. It's another Vallejo neighbor. I don't know what it is.
Okay, Vallejo. And it used to be not like this when we were kids. So I don't understand. That used to be the place to be because of Marine World. I mean, not Marine World. Six Flags.
A lot has changed. But I had a neighbor in a building when we first moved to Vallejo. She's actually a well-known chef. She is well known. She used to cook the food out of her apartment or whatever and sell it to people. I'm not going to say her name on here because I ain't got time to be dealing with her and her LLC and all them problems. But the lady lived downstairs from myself and my spouse. This was at the time we were in a studio apartment, and the whole building was basically of studio apartments. So I guess the lady introduced herself to my husband first. Everything was chill. She was being neighborly. She's like, I'm a chef. She had extra food, and she was a vegan chef. So she used to be giving us food all the time. Now, when I met her is when things went from like regularly neighborly to weird. The girl looked at me like she had stars in her eyes. And that is when I learned that this lady was a lesbian. Nothing wrong with it. I've had plenty of friends who are. But this was a different type of beast in terms of lesbian that I have dealt with. So the lady grew an attraction for me, which I kind of suspected because when my husband would go to work, she was knocking on the door because at the time I was not working. So she's knocking on the door, bringing food, bringing stuff, and wanting to come in. Then she wanted to watch movies and things like that. She kept trying to get me in the bed if I was in her house, trying to get in my bed and things like that. And I'm like, what the hell is this? What's going on? So one day my husband goes to work. We had gotten busy. And I get a text from the neighbor downstairs talking about she was so excited by what she heard and is turned on and is willing to try dick if it means that she could sleep with me. I said, say what now? I said, what? And that's like, I have no attraction to this person, and me and my husband are not the type of couple that invites people into the bedroom. We good with just two of us. So I was genuinely weirded out. So then I'm like, okay, it made sex between my husband and I actually a little strange because then I'm like, who's listening? So before we got busy, I'm like, I need the windows closed, the curtains down. I'm putting towels up under the door. Like, I don't want to be heard with that at all. But the neighbor basically kept listening to my spouse and me get busy, which I've never experienced before. So then it progressed to some other weird stuff. And I found out about that because she was like, let's go to a bar. She starts drinking and gets loose at the mouth and is telling me that she had been listening to us getting busy. Old Vallejo has architectural. We lived in the architectural heritage district. So it's a bunch of like, what do they call them? Victorians and like old houses that have been preserved, which means thin walls. So all the neighbors heard everything, but no one like commented on hearing, you know, people having sex and things like that in their apartments. But this lady was actively listening, told me about it, and then asked me and my husband, well, can I please just watch you guys have sex? I said, what? And she did not just ask in that moment at the bar. Josiah is here. My husband is here as my witness. This lady asked us multiple times to watch us have sex. Now, it got to a point after she was our neighbor for about a year, because then I started to stay in the house and avoid the bitch. I said, this is weird. I feel like you want to feed me and fuck me, and I don't want to deal with that, right? But as she's getting ready to move, y'all know I smoke. She provided me with a hefty amount of marijuana. I said, this is strange. Why would you do that? And then she smokes with me while my husband's at work. And she asked me again. She says, how about this? What if I pay you? I got $1,500 in cash right now. What if I pay you and me and you could just get busy and he never has to know about it? I opened my door and told her to get the fuck out of my house. So she comes back a week later because she's getting ready to move and is panicking and all of this other stuff. And she apologizes. And then she started dating someone else that she was doing business with in a brand partnership, who worked in a cannabis club that was back owned in Oakland. She starts sleeping with that person. This neighbor the whole time also had a fiance who she was moving to Texas with. Her fiance did not know that she was trying to fuck me, trying to watch my husband and me sleep together, trying to come in the bedroom with me and my husband. And then in addition to that, she started fucking on this girl for the cannabis club. The girl that she was fucking on for the cannabis club ended up telling her fiance about it. And then they got to this crazy fight. Stuff was tore up. The police came. It woke me up out my sleep, all of this. I'm a nice person. So I was like, is everything okay? When I was coming in. And she starts talking. So I sat on this bench and talked to her. And then she proceeded at the end of it to ask me again if we could have sex. And I said, no, I do not want to have sex with anybody outside of my husband. She tells me that men like that and that it will turn him on. And my husband was not attracted to this woman at all. And he made that very clear to me with the, you know how Josiah is, James. Hell no. Yeah, guys want a threesome, but not if the bitch looked like that. And I'm just like, oh God, it was a hot mess. The neighbor ended up moving away. She moved away with her fiance. She ended up breaking up with the fiance and all this crazy stuff. I had to block her because it got weird. She started sending me things once she moved away of her private parts. Yeah, that's like, for me, a horror story. Like, I couldn't have sex comfortably. I could not move fast enough.
So what's crazy is I don't necessarily have any horror stories for neighbors, but I do have like an interesting story that I kind of is mysterious to me. I'll say it like that. It's mysterious. So when I was a kid, I was probably 9 or 10. I lived in Hayward, California, off of Huntwood and Harder. And it was a very small apartment complex, very small, like maybe at the most 20 units at the most. So several of the tenants in this apartment complex were very good friends and siblings too. So underneath us, we had, I don't want to say her name because she does watch us, but we're gonna call her Sally. So Sally and her husband Bruno lived underneath us. And then Sally had a sister named Tina. Tina lived with her husband, Manuel, on the other side of the apartment complex. And then they had a really good friend. We're going to call them Helen and Ben. That's what we're going to call them, right? So we got everybody's names, right? They all have kids, all this and this and that, right? So I've always had to go to school with their kids. So we would get rides, ride shares and stuff, carpool, whatever you guys want to call that. That's what we had back in those times. So we would go to school with the kids. They would pick us up from school, this and that. So on the weekends, we would have family fun nights, right? And one time, we were outside. The kids were all playing and everything. And I'm sitting on Helen and Ben's stairs that lead up to their apartments because I'm watching the kids play and everything because I'm the oldest, of course. I hear, "You motherfucker, get your shit and get the fuck out." And I'm like, looking up there, and I'm like, because as a kid, you like, the hell going on? So they are arguing back and forth. "You and then this is what I hear. "You can't even keep it hard for me, you motherfucker. What the fuck are you doing?" Now, mind you, I'm 10 years old, not knowing what any of that shit means, not knowing what the fuck is going on. So she proceeds to open the door and say, "Get your shit and get the fuck out because I'm sick of this shit. This been going on way too fucking long. Get your shit and get the fuck out." And so she walks downstairs and goes and gets the ladies. And I think my aunt, because my aunt lived next door, I think my aunt went with them. And I'm still sitting on the stairs. She's not seeing me at all. Like, she walked right past me, didn't say, "Excuse me, James," didn't say nothing, as if it was just normal for me to be sitting there. And she's telling the story about how, she's tired of this. She don't know what the fuck is going on. And and she can't keep doing this shit, yada, yada, yada. So about maybe 2 months later, they break up. He comes back 2 weeks after that. After they break up, he comes back 2 weeks later. And they're talking, and I'm listening to everything because, as a kid, I was nosy. I listened to everything. And he tells her, "I don't know what's wrong with me. I don't know what's wrong. Like, I cannot tell you what's wrong with me. But, like, don't do this. We got kids together. We have all this and this and that. Don't do this to me." So she gives him another chance. A month after that, she moves to Montana to be with her family and leaves him in the apartment. And I'm still nosy, and I'm seeing who, because we lived in the front unit, so you could see everybody coming and going. There was a young man that went up into the apartment one day. I'd never seen him before. And mind you, as I said, we're neighbors, they're close, their kids played with us, everything. So we're seeing, so the man leaves the next day. Didn't even think of anything of that. So cut to now me thinking about it. This has been 21 years later. It makes me wonder if the reason why he was not able to perform sexually is because he was gay this whole time. And honestly, he was maybe 21, 22, maybe at the oldest 25. I'll give him 25. So that would make him 46 now. So now I'm wondering, and I don't remember his last name because I was trying to look him up on Facebook, because me thinking back to those times, if I'm really remembering what he looks like, he actually was fine. So, and I know that's nasty because he's seen me as a kid. Nobody wants to think of like that, but it often makes me wonder if he was really gay. And if in today's time, if I didn't know who he was, would I had go and talk to him today? It makes me wonder. But that was a mysterious story. So yeah, I remember, so my goals to say how this is going to turn into a horror story is make sure when you are adults arguing in front of children are curious. Children are nosy. Children want to know everything. So when you argue and tell your business, make sure no kid is listening like my crazy ass and was trying to put two and two together and why the fuck they argue it and why he can't perform sexually. Because that was a mouthful. But it makes me wonder. I do. I always wonder if he was, and that's, like I said, that's early 2000s, that's 90s. Like, no one really, you never really was public about that. If you did it, you was private. So yeah, I always wondered. I always wondered. She should look alike.
I'm looking at I have a lot going on in the background.
No, you
Moderating my
good.
my
But yeah, that
computer.
was my mysterious story. I always wondered about him. Like I said, I don't remember his last name because I would definitely look him up to see if what I predicted and in today's time ended up being true.
It could be.
It could be because I just, it was one of the things. As I said, in the 90s, people weren't public about that. So it may have been, but if I'm remembering what he looks like, he was pretty fine. So I would think, Helen never did come to her senses because they never did get back together. And the last time I never saw him, but I saw the other collective groups. Like I still keep in contact with the lady who lives underneath us. What name did I give her? I don't even remember. I still keep in contact with her and the sister. So, and I never really ask about her. So yeah.
Oh, Lord. I don't keep in contact with none of my neighbors.
Well, that's because I was always with them. Like when my mom had to work and stuff, it was easy to get a ride home from them after school, like especially in elementary school because I had my brother. So it was easy for us to say, "Hey, you already here? Let's get a ride. I can go upstairs, or we can stay at your house," because she was always cooking something. So, yeah, it was away from me. I was sneaky like when it comes to stuff like that because my mom was like, watch your brother. I'm 10, 11, 12 watching him. But when I went to middle school, that changed because then I couldn't be around him. I couldn't because we got off at different times. So it was a little bit harder, but yeah. But oh wait, I can remember them days though. But that's my mysterious. I always wondered about him. I did.
Child, neighbors are weird. Either
Yeah,
way.
it was weird.
That's why I'm very careful to not argue. I don't even like arguing in the house. Me and Mr. Best will get in the car and go off somewhere and talk it out before we let these people be in our business. But we're also unusually private. But
I think Gio and I had one fight in here, like one argument in here, and we were pretty loud. And I was like, damn. Yeah. But I don't really, but down below me, they argue like cats and dogs down there, be slamming shit, and then beneath them, I don't know what's going on down there. But yeah, these walls is thin; you can hear everything. So
when
I'm
I
a big
was at your house, I had woke up because I wake up early, but I had woke up at like 3 something because I had to use the restroom at the Tinkle. I came back in here. I was like, shit, did I close the door too loud? And then I'm like, okay, sounds like everyone's still asleep. But I got back in the room and laid down. And because we was on the mattress, I'm hearing because my ear was on it. And I'm like, oh, somebody downstairs was arguing. And it was them slamming doors. It was like 3:40 something in the morning.
Oh yeah, they definitely slammed. Girl, I tell you. Well, and at that time, that was a new man for her because before
not a big fan for her, like there's been others.
Yes.
I cannot.
Yeah, no, this is a new man for her. So at that time, that argument and shit, but she always had somebody crazy. That's why I was like, damn, that rent need to be paid that bad? You don't want to get you no fucking job? Like, what the hell's wrong with you?
Not you don't want to get you a job.
No, because that's why she moved me in so they can pay the rent. And she looked just like Heather. So that's why I know. Yeah.
She looked like Heather.
She do. If you ever see you would be like, you would think, oh wow, Heather Gaten moved right up in his apartment.
Lord help us.
Yeah, so that was pretty much it, y'all. Let us know your good, your bad, your horror, or your mysterious stories like mine. Let us know how those goes. Also, please participate in our little game segment. Let us know who you could live next door to. They have to live down the street or around the corner. Please let us know out of the list that we have there. We would love to read that. And we plan to do another, fun topic, game, story kind of thing on our collab channel. But you guys have to like, comment, and subscribe. Share the video. Let us know how this is going for y'all. Y'all enjoying this? Please let us know. The more we know, the better we can do at, being acclimated with this different style of channel that we have separate from our own. And also subscribe to our other channels if y'all want the reality TV reviews. Yes, please do so. And thank you so much once again for everybody who was in the live chat. Shout out to the replay game. Thank you, Mrs. Best. Y'all have a good night now.
Good night.
Oh yeah. Till like 1, 2, 3rd. Everything I say, I learn. Oh yeah. But I used to sure. That's my word.